fixing to grab an Uber to the California Market Center. We are fixing to head over to Market. We're gonna get all registered, and then we're gonna go meet some vendors to pick out lots and lots and lots of clothes.
So it's gonna be so fun. This is Mariah.
Hi!
She's looking at the tree.
distracted by this big city stuff.
We're very excited.
Okay, what is Market? I don't really know. Okay, so Market is a place that retailers go to buy their items at wholesale that they then turn around and sell for a profit. Traditionally, Wild Ivy has shopped at the Dallas market and the Vegas market for the most part. We can meet our reps that represent the different brands that we typically shop at, and they will kind of like walk us through the collection, and we can pick our favorite pieces from there. And so we have several different reps with several different brands. So when we go, we try to pick the pieces that most align with whatever collection we're putting out. This time we establish what kind of collection we want to put out. We will pull specific images of specific kinds of clothes that we like and what the vibe is and the materials are and the colors are and the textures are. So then we can all go into Market with a very clear plan as far as what we're looking for. And it's not our individual styles. We may like it individually, but it's what Wild Ivy needs in that given season.
And one of our experiences at Market, we were on the third day, we were tired, walking around, and we came across this booth, and there was this woman there, and she was just really kind to us and really knowledgeable, but also kind of gave us some insight about some things that we didn't know currently about when it comes to fast fashion. And it was a really eye-opening experience for both of us. We sat there like just shocked at what she was telling us about the industry and about her real life experience that she had seen firsthand.
Talk to me about what you and Bethany experienced.
Yes, okay. You as a woman who has worked in Vietnam for like 15 years to help report on ethical practices happening in sweatshops. They went in there and there was all these women working who were prisoners, like criminals. But the sweatshops would pay the guards to bring the women down to work for 18 hours a day. So they're getting paid nothing. But the guard is getting paid for lending his prisoners to do real life slavery, I guess. So their whole job, their whole existence when she was there was like reporting, going in undercover of like, oh, we want to use your warehouse, and then reporting this to local officials.
We're just like, what? This is actually happening? She's like, yeah, and I was working alongside these women and trying to, advocate for them, and just like her voice within it, just like telling us about this experience. And we walked away from that feeling like completely sick to our stomachs, that we did not know that was happening, or that even was something that could happen. And we looked into it, and it actually happens very frequently when it comes to fast fashion. So we decided we do not want to be a part of that world. We don't want to sell clothes that are made in that way. And so it was like a really big pivotal moment for us, and that's kind of when we started really thinking more intentionally about, okay, what do we want to represent as a brand? Like, we want to feel good with the clothes that we're buying and the clothes that we're wearing, and this does not feel good. So what changes do we need to make like now?
It's stuff you hear about in movies, maybe things that, I know for me, it just was so far out of my head that I hadn't even thought about it, and I'm in the industry. So to imagine expecting others to know about it, it's a very quiet, protected environment. But it was heartbreaking to hear her side of the story, and for her to tell us specific brands that we shop constantly, both for our store things and for our personal life. It just really changed the way that I looked at those brands, and it just made me wonder, and we even asked specifically, like, are these brands aware of the conditions in which their items are being made? And unfortunately, most of the time it was yes, that they did. We are a brand that is all about encouraging women, lifting up women, inspiring women. So what kind of brand are we if we are empowering a woman by having her purchase an item that was devaluing a woman as she made it? And so nothing is important enough to devalue a human. And so for us, yes, it just became this pivotal point of, we didn't know, now we know, what do we do? Part of our commitment that we made as we became aware of this was that we would, in love, share it to those in our community. Never in condemnation, never to shame others or to tell you not to shop at places, because, you know, there's none of us that are going to do any of this right. But we decided as a business that we were no longer going to practice or form a habit with something that doesn't have the intention and thought behind it, even if that's not the easiest way about it or even the most profitable way. But instead, we would know where items are sourced, we would know what they were made of, we would know who is benefiting from the profit of those, who's not benefiting, who is being hurt in the process of the production of those items.
The exciting thing is that we have done some really hard work and found some incredible brands, things that I am so proud of, and the heart behind some of these brands are just align with us so well. We found a sustainable denim company, which is really, really hard to find. We found a lot of handmade, ethically sourced clothing brands that just are stunning, and it's exciting. I feel so alive and so refreshed knowing that we get to carry these brands that do good. It feels good.
We started carrying a couple of those lines and just started to play around with how people would react to them. We realized that there was going to be a huge education curve, and that is very scary. So from a business aspect, it is in my best interest financially just to sell the cheap stuff. People buy it left and right. People are here for fast fashion. I know how to make money in those ways, but ethically, I am an Enneagram Wing 4 and can't do something that feels wrong in my soul. I'd rather not do anything.
Did you know each other? Yes. Okay.
It's definitely been a learning experience for us to honor where we've been and not feel shame and condemnation about where we were or maybe what we even profited on, but to set and really absorb the concept that, once you know better, you do better. I've never been as excited as I am about this collection. It's never felt more true to me personally or to the brand. I've never been more proud to represent the brands that we are currently representing. And it's not an overnight fix at all. And that's something that we want to be so transparent about, is that this is a shift that's happening and it is a business. And so we are doing our best to be as smart as we can and as transparent as we can, that we're still learning, that this is the baby beginnings, but we wanted you guys to come along with us on this journey as we shift and do better now that we know better. So we're shifting to where we're creating recycling programs within the shop. We're doing our best to recycle all of the ridiculous plastic and cardboard use that comes in and through a retail business. But then we're also trying to use all recycled products. So our hang tags, our stickers, our shipping containers, everything that we can, we're doing our best to use the least amount of waste as possible. We're excited to share with you guys just a few resources that can help you plug in and learn about maybe the brands you're supporting. I think some of the simple, practical terms that maybe you'll hear us use that we could help define for you in our definitions would be, fast fashion is what you're going to find. A lot of it's made overseas and it's made in massive bulk. And most of the time it's going to be tracked to 10 plus warehouses. So you're going to have a really hard time finding specifically who made your item. And then you're also going to have a hard time figuring out exactly what is in that item. You can push and push to ask that brand, but 9 times out of 10 in the fast fashion world, they won't know. The reps don't know where it's made or how it's made. And the brand typically is pretty closed down to giving any of its details out, versus the fashion world that's being made more ethically. They tend to know. Most of the brands from the new core collection, if we ask them, hey, where's this produced? They can tell us specifically. They could give us an address. They can tell us the name of the person who works in their factory. Most of them have one factory, and somehow they're usually family connected, which has been so cool to get to a Zoom call with owners of companies and get to know that it is more small batch, which just means there's been a lot of thought and a lot of effort and love put into that item. To us, if something's ethically made, that means that it was made with standards thinking of human care. So they're being treated fairly with both pay and environment of their work. They're given the option of if they want to work. They're being given benefits in a safe working environment. Those things are all really important when you're talking about ethically made. Another thing that we are really trying to look into and learn about is eco-friendly. So what is the carbon footprint of this item? How much damage is being done just for this item to be worn? And then we're also hoping to help our client learn how to buy less pieces, but higher quality pieces. So what if every season you bought 3 investment pieces instead of 10 lower priced, less quality pieces? Because what we find that we do is we'll pop into the next box shop up the street, we'll buy 2 bikinis and a dress for our trip, and we might wear them once more in the summer, and then they get tossed in the sack to give away. So as we've questioned friends, as we've really thought about it in our own closets, the amount of turnover in clothes is shocking. And I think it's because we have the tendency as humans, as females, that we want to buy what's trending, we want to buy what's popular or what we see someone else wear, instead of focusing on what makes me feel like the most me, what makes me feel the most alive and the most beautiful. What that might look like is less in your closet, but higher quality. And again, when you buy higher quality, a lot of the times, not always, but a lot of the times you're gonna find that they were sourced more ethically and there's just been better and gentler care to that item. So again, we don't have the answers. We're not doing it perfectly, of course, but we are doing our best to be as aware as we can be as a brand, that we can't condone the hurting of other humans. We can't condone that someone's life is less valuable than ours.